Building up your very own Bluetooth audio speaker is a great opportunity for listening to your favorite music while not being at home at the same time. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build up your very own too, what is important during the building process, and which electrical and mechanical components are required. So let's stop talking and get right into it. I started off by creating a 3D model which then can be printed with my 3D printer multiple times. After several hours of printing process, I ended up with 3 big rings and 4 small rings. With the help of some super glue, I simply glued all of them together in a decent way. 2 of the 3 big rings need to be glued together with 1 small ring each, and 1 of the 3 big rings need to be glued together with 2 small rings. The speakers I am using are 2 cheap ceiling mount speakers. The metal clamps on the speaker need to be removed at first. The easiest way of doing so is using some cutting nippers. For the space between the plastic pieces, I am using some aluminum tubing. They have a diameter of 80 mm and a length of 60 mm. To fit the DC jack and the switch, we need to drill 2 holes at first. The holes should be located pretty centered. After drilling the holes, the DC jack and the switch then can be simply screwed in place. Make sure that they have a tight fit. Now the speakers need to be glued in place. Before the gluing process, I simply secured them in place centrally with the help of some adhesive tape. This makes gluing a lot easier. Then I simply glued the speakers in place with the help of some dual component adhesive. For creating the audio output signal, I am using this cheap Bluetooth audio amplifier board. The board creates an output power of 2 × 50 watts. For holding the board in place properly, I simply glued it in place with the help of some dual component adhesive. For the power source, I used 3 18650 lithium-ion batteries, which are glued in place at the opposite of the Bluetooth audio board. While letting the glue dry, I simply soldered 2 wires to the power switch and the DC jack. This needs to be done now, because later on you won't reach the contacts of the DC jack and the power switch that easy. Now the speakers can be glued into the aluminum tubing with the help of some dual component adhesive. This process needs to be done with both of the speakers. Make sure that they fit snugly. Because the wiring process can get quite confusing, I'm going to explain it to you with the help of some schematics. For driving the board, you have got 2 opportunities. The first is connecting the 3 lithium-ion batteries in series and controlling them with the help of a battery management system board. The DC jack then needs to be connected to P+ and P- on the battery management system board. The Bluetooth audio amplifier board will be interrupted with the help of a switch which will be connected to P+ and P- on the battery management system board too. The battery management system board itself will protect the lithium-ion batteries from overcharging or reaching a critical low voltage level. The second opportunity is using the 3 lithium-ion battery cells parallel and then transforming the voltage up to a level of 12 volts with the help of a DC-DC buck converter. The switch needs to be installed between the battery's positive poles and the buck converter's positive input terminal. The DC jack needs to be connected directly to the battery's positive and negative poles. This circuit won't give you any battery protection at all. After wiring everything up, I simply needed to connect the speaker's cables to the outlets on the Bluetooth audio amplifier board. Then I glued the whole speaker together with the help of some dual component adhesive. Make sure the batteries are facing the opposite direction of the power switch and the DC jack. This will let the speaker level itself after placing it on a flat surface. The last step is connecting the speaker to your mobile phone or laptop and then start listening to your favorite music. If you like this project, feel free to like, share and subscribe. Check out my other videos and stay excited for my next project coming up next Friday. As always, have fun while rebuilding this project, and if you have any questions, you can leave me a comment. See you next Friday!